Spirit ashes, better known as summons, played a massive role in the identity of base Elden Ring. You've always been able to summon other players or NPCs for jolly cooperation in previous From Software titles, but Elden Ring expanded that concept and created an entire roster of a Pokemon-like system where you could summon enemies to fight for you. In base Elden Ring, you could obtain spirit ashes of enemies found throughout the game and summon them with the use of the spirit calling bell given to you by your wife. I mean, Ronnie. This bell allows you to summon enemies from the game as your allies to help you fight different enemies or bosses. From the most iconic Mimic tier that literally duplicated yourself and snapshot your buffs and gear to even the lesser summons like the Soul Jars of Fortune, which literally just spawns jars that instantly blow themselves up. There are a total of 64 Spirit Ashes in base Elden Ring, and an additional 20 Spirit Ashes added with the release of Elden Ring's DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. From that, we've already seen plenty of runs like beating Elden Ring without attacking and using only Spirit Ashes to complete the game or defeat every major boss. So naturally, with the release of Nightreign, I wanted to see if I could do the first summons only challenge run and beat Nightreign without attacking. But things are different in Nightreign. There are no Spirit Ashes here. This is Limveiled. You're gonna die. All previously introduced summons were not added to Nightreign, which makes sense given that this is a standalone game with a primarily online co-op focused experience. Unfortunately, From Software didn't expect people like me would want to play Nightreign despite not actually having any friends. Luckily, there exists the perfect character to solve my problem. The Revenant. This little being of destruction and chaos is commonly depicted wielding colossal weapons, but is actually a faith-based character who generally sucks at using melee weapons, and their main kit revolves around Spirit Ashes and summoning 3 different kinds of spirits to help you fight. Currently, there are 8 total Nightfarers that you can play as in Nightreign, but the Duchess and the Revenant are actually the only characters that you do not get immediate access to play. You first have to unlock the Duchess, and then you can get access to try and unlock the Revenant through a side quest. I say try because early on in your first few attempts, she beats the dog shit out of you, spamming her triple rings of light with infinite FP so fast that I just know Gideon is somewhere looking up at us with pride. While she covers half the arena with her spells, her 2 summons, Frederick and Helen, run you down to break your kneecaps, as if you owed them money. And good old Sebastian is far in the back charging up a hyper beam aimed right at your forehead like his name was Luigi, and I'm not talking about Mario. After defeating Revenant and her summons, you unlock access to play as her yourself, and initially I thought this character was gonna be OP. I mean, starting with triple rings of light and a triple summon goon squad, she has to be broken. Oh, that's urgent heal and rejection. 0 damaging spells to start with. Huh. Well, at least I can spawn 3 summons, right? Oh, I can only spawn 1 at a time, even though she used all 3 against me? Well, it's a good thing her melee weapon is a claw type weapon that has S tier faith scaling. Oh god damn it. It's technically a fist category weapon that actually deals magic damage instead. FromSoft, what the fuck? Anyways, the Revenant lost a couple extra cool points from me after seeing that, but since I'm a masochistic sicko who's completed runs in the past like defeating every boss in Black Myth Wukong without attacking a single time, and defeating every boss in Shadow of the Erdtree using only consumables with no Shadow Tree fragments allowed, and defeating the true final boss of Nightreign using nothing but the Wraith Calling Bell most recently. I hatched the brilliant idea to torture myself with an entire expedition and defeating a Night Lord using only Revenant and her summons. But I also had to make sure that I was not allowed to deal any damage directly myself at all. All of my damage would have to come from using Revenant's summons specifically. Spoiler, her summons kinda suck. The Revenant's stats look like this for each level. Her summons do not directly benefit from her stats at all. Rather, every time you level up as the Revenant, it would appear that your summons also separately level up for themselves. Think of it like upgrading Spirit Ashes with Glovewort in Elden Ring. Every time you get a level, your summons get a level. Their stats do not increase from anything else, but the summons can be affected by AoE buffs, AoE consumables, or an explicit summon buff via unique relics, which I'll get into later. First, let's go over her abilities, starting with her ultimate since it's easiest to explain. Revenant's ultimate, Immortal March, is an area of effect that will make you and any living teammates, including summons, unable to die for 15 seconds. Keep in mind, you can still lose HP, you just can't go any lower than 1 HP during this state, preventing yourself and allies like your summons from dying. By default, that's all the ultimate really does, on top of instantly reviving other players that are downed nearby. However, the ultimate has a secret passive that if you use your ultimate with any summons active on the field, your summons can perform a unique skill or attack depending on which one is out. Revenant can access her summons with her basic skill triangle L2. Doing this will pop up a menu of 3 different summons you can spawn via specific inputs. Anything that the Revenant or her summons defeats has a small chance of automatically respawning as your ally. This effect does not appear to work on bosses, and in the event an enemy does respawn to be your ally, they only last until they die or around a minute until they automatically expire, whichever happens first. As for the list of guaranteed summons for the Revenant to use, the first is known as Helen, the Agile Page, Frederick, the Sono Head, Pumpkin Head summon, and Sebastian, the Butler. No, wrong Sebastian. There we go. These summons will never automatically expire unless they die or until you move too far away from them. All summons have different health bars and stats, and when they are not in use, inactive summons will slowly regenerate their HP over time. If a summon is killed, it will be unavailable to use until it regenerates its health back to at least 50% total HP before it can be respawned again. In base Elden Ring, your summons could literally cost hundreds of FP or mana to spawn them, and some of them even cost HP. And when they die mid-fight, they cannot be respawned until the fight is over. In Nightreign, the Revenant summons thankfully do not consume any FP nor consume HP, and all 3 of these can be infinitely spawned and respawned even if they die mid-combat, allowing Revenant summons to respawn similar to a time-based cooldown instead. The first main summon is Helen, the Agile Page. Helen is a dexterity-based summon who wields a rapier and specializes in quick thrusting attacks. Unfortunately, Helen does not come equipped with the 3-round burst assault rifle like the high pages do in game. You know, the ones that can tear you a new one. Instead, Helen has a lot more mobility. She's the only summon with the ability to actively dodge or evade incoming attacks from enemies and bosses. She's great against smaller enemies that have low poise and can easily be staggered, but she struggles against most bosses that will just toss her around and break her like a twig. Helen attacks and moves swiftly, but she lacks the durability of your other summons like Frederick or Sebastian. As I mentioned previously, if you use Revenant's ultimate, Immortal March, while Helen is on the field, Helen will unleash a special flurry of rapid thrusting strikes, attacking at a much faster pace than her normal rhythm. Frederick is the next summon in line and is considered a pumpkin head summon despite not having a pumpkin head. He is a massive heavy ally that wields a large bone great hammer capable of dealing devastating strike damage. His attacks mostly include large AoE swings that can cleave multiple enemies at once. This makes him ideal for crowd control and, in my opinion, makes him the best summon for you to use. He might be slower and less mobile than Helen, but in my opinion, he seems to be doing the most consistent damage compared to both Helen or Sebastian, with a good amount of durability on top of that. Not to mention his attacks usually have a large reach or even larger AoE, making sure that he almost always hits his mark. A allowing him to hold his ground against enemies and even some bosses. If you use Immortal March while Frederick is on the field, he enters a special state where he unleashes a chain of spinning AoE attacks, which is great for clearing out packs of mobs or poise damage against certain bosses. Lastly, we have Sebastian. He has a high potential for damage, but comes with the biggest drawback of all your summons. He cannot move and is completely immobile. Upon summoning him, Sebastian will emit a low damage AoE roar that can briefly pull enemy to aggro him, allowing enemies to approach his range much easier for some overhead smash attacks. He's really not that useful and doesn't really do much damage unless you use Revenant's ultimate with him on the field. Again, if Immortal March is triggered while Sebastian is on the field, he will unleash a massive Hyper Beam Comet Azure capable of dealing a ton of damage, provided that it actually lands, because I swear that motherfucker Sebastian almost never hits the target that I'm locked onto. The Revenant summons on their own generally won't get much damage out by themselves before they die, especially against bosses or even Night Lords. They might be able to get in a few hits before they get absolutely one-shot and force you to wait to be able to respawn them again. Some bosses and enemies can even stun lock them completely, making it impossible for your summons to even attack or defend themselves. So if I'm gonna complete an entire run using nothing but summons in Nightreign, how do you get around the summons being so useless? Well, on top of the basic strategy, there's a little technique I created that can turn your summons into absolute DPS machines. Normally, the default strats for Revenant is that she can send her summons out, and each subsequent summon will replace your current active summon with a different summon. That way, one summon isn't tanking all of the damage by themselves. You can also despawn summons and manually recall your summons back into their Pokeballs to avoid any damage and maximize your summons uptime, resulting in them dying less. But there's something very unique that I discovered that I don't see anyone talking about, and it's something that I'd like to refer to as an attack timer reset. For example, someone like Helen has a low attack timer. This means that she attacks very fast with moderate damage and has the shortest delay between her strikes. Sebastian, on the other hand, has a very high attack timer, meaning he attacks very slow with very low damage, and most importantly has high delays between each strike. Lastly, we have Frederick, who I believe deals the most consistent damage with his heavy hitting strikes. The only problem is that Frederick, just like Sebastian, also has a high attack timer, meaning that Frederick attacks very slowly and has a long attack timer between each attack animation. But while I was testing Revenant out, I discovered that if you summon Frederick on top of an enemy, his attack animation triggers immediately. Normally after his first swing, he has a long attack timer before he can attack again. However, by taking advantage of this respawn mechanic, you can manipulate and manually reset his attack timer, instantly allowing him to attack again. Summoning Frederick close to an enemy causes him to attack instantly, and by resummoning him allows you to reset his attack cooldown entirely. This allows you to bypass Frederick's usual downtime and allow Frederick to attack immediately each time he's summoned. Essentially, this lets you chain Frederick's opening attack over and over, dishing out far more DPS than normally possible and increasing his latent attack speed exponentially. After I discovered how this works, I knew it would be key to completing this challenge, basically turning Frederick into a stand that I can directly control, using him to manually attack anytime I want via respawning him on top of an enemy immediately after he strikes them. But what expedition would I choose? What are the exact rules to my run being successful? And what relics would I even use? Could I even make it to the final night, let alone defeat any Night Lord final boss? And using truly nothing else for my damage besides these 3 summons? So before the run starts, let's clarify exactly how my challenge works and any rules that I must follow throughout my entire challenge. First off, I must play Revenant, obviously, but I can use her ult and summons as much as I'd like. But I am not allowed to deal any damage directly myself, meaning that I won't even allow myself to use the relic that makes Revenant's ultimate explode with AoE Ghost Flame, since that would make things too easy, and as you all know by now, I love torturing myself. Second, I can use any spells or Ashes of War as long as they don't deal direct damage. For example, Rejection is an incantation that can knock enemies back and stop them from ganging up on my summons. This incantation actually deals 0 damage, so it's perfectly fine to use in my run. And if I'm lucky during my runs and find other spells that don't do direct damage, like Poison Mist and healing spells and AoE buffs or Ashes of War, those can be used again as long as they do not directly deal damage. Number 3, I can use any consumables I want as much as I want, but again, if the consumable deals damage directly, it is not allowed. So things like Wraith Bell, throwing pots, throwing knives, items like those are not allowed to be used during my runs. Number 4, at any point during a run, if I attack, even on accident, I must immediately quit the game and restart my run completely. And for the 5th and final rule of my challenge, as a general umbrella statement, no glitches and no exploits of any kind are allowed during my run. So out of every expedition, which one would I choose? Immediately, I had to think about how fast all of the Night Lords move, because my summons need to be able to keep up with them to actually deal damage. So naturally, I thought of the slowest moving boss, Augur, or as I like to call it, the Elden Baby. I equipped my relics to give my summons as much damage as possible via buffs and set out on my journey. On day 1, I played it pretty standard to how you would normally play Nightreign, just to get a feel of how much different this run was going to be, using nothing but my summons with my attack timer reset tech that I explained earlier, allowing me to instantly reset the slow attack time of Frederick to make him my DPS machine. I thought it was going to be fine for the most part. I was wrong. On my very first run, I pulled up to the Envoy Cathedral and promptly got my ass handed to me. The enemies were extremely tanky for nothing but my summons, which makes sense given that they're technically a boss fight here, and almost immediately I realized that I wasn't going to be able to do many bosses during my run at all. And it's not even for a difficulty reason, but actually for time and efficiency. See, in Nightreign, each day is around 15 minutes in length before the circle gets as small as possible and you defeat the final day boss to begin the next day. So I would need to make sure that all the enemies I defeat during my daytime would not only give me a decent amount of runes to level up, but also not take so much time out of my day, because even if I engage with a boss fight and manage to defeat said boss, it would take way too long and overall be an inefficient gain of runes per minute to achieve the necessary amount of levels, because as I stated earlier, Nightreign levels are very important for Revenant since her summons damage are increased every time the Revenant levels up herself. So I stuck with small packs of enemies because usually the lone packs that wander around outside of marked areas give you around 5,000 runes per pack and are a free and easy method to generate enough runes for my levels without risking time or dying. With this strat, I made it to the first boss of the first day and I really lucked out. Thankfully for me, the day 1 boss was Godric. Oh, sorry, Grafted Monarch. I don't know, I find something about this fight kind of cute and endearing, knowing that there might be someone out there whose first experience against Godric ever is this fight right now, given that he was in base Elden Ring, especially if they never played base Elden Ring. Unlike me, who's had literally thousands of hours into the base game and no hitting Godric in the past, this fight was a cakewalk. He did have some fancy new moves, but overall, I just had to space him out and let Frederick go to work with my attack timer reset tech, and the fight was pretty much free. Except for the fact that I vastly overestimated Sebastian's Kamehameha during my runs. I used my ult against Godric to check how much damage that laser would do, and yeah, it was pretty pathetic. Luckily, I just had to prioritize swapping between Frederick and Helen to clean up the fight for an easy day 1. Day 2 started out pretty much the same. I sought out for lone packs of enemies for a quick and easy boost to my runes, and I feel like people underestimate just how valuable these packs can be. You can kill most of them in a single attack, and they drop an average of 1,000 runes each, usually at bare minimum. I actually found it quite efficient to go for these small clusters of enemies more than actual bosses. I didn't need the extra gear from boss drops anyways, so in a weird way, it sort of worked out perfectly for me. The day 2 boss was the iconic Tree Sentinel trio, which again, I lucked out because unironically, I find this fight to be fairly easy and have a ton of experience fighting the Tree Sentinel from base Elden Ring, so all I had to do was make sure that I was splitting and juggling the enemy's aggro between all 3 of them running me down and space myself out accordingly to allow my summons to deal damage. Again, Frederick was going in crazy style versatile with the attack timer reset tech I discovered, allowing him to dish out a ton of DPS for me alongside Helen. One problem I ran into was that despite how efficient my DPS tech is, it has a major downside. Every time you respawn a summon, it removes all previously affected buffs that were applied to any summons. This includes spells, consumables, and your ultimate as Revenant, the one that applies buffs to your allies via your relics, as well as the buff that prevents your allies from dying. Essentially, if I summon an ally, ult them, and then do the attack reset tech, I basically just wasted my entire ultimate completely, as all effects immediately expire as soon as they disappear. So regardless, I had to be a bit more careful with my planning and slowly poke down the tree sentinel, allowing me to better focus the goon squad. This was extremely effective and made for an easy day 2. Now that brings me to the final day 3. Keep in mind, this was actually my very first attempt for this challenge, making it all the way to the final boss using nothing but my summons for damage and farming runes for my levels put me at level 9. And honestly, I was pretty proud of that. I think even making it this far with nothing but summons was pretty rewarding in itself. But now let's break down how I'm going to defeat the Elden Baby. As most of you may have experienced yourself, this little bastard loves to fly around in the air, not allowing you to get a melee hit in, and makes the fight not difficult but extremely annoying for melee based characters. And since I'm using only summons, I had to fight it with melee attacks, looking for the tiniest of windows that I'm even able to interact with this boss and get a single hit in. Luckily, this boss actually has an interesting gimmick for its main game mechanic. During this fight, the Elden Baby spawns a bunch of jellyfish that will self-destruct near you and deal damage that applies a buildup for the sleep debuff on you if you don't avoid them. It also spawns a plethora of pool noodle tentacles that whip you if you come too close to them. But there's a special interaction that the jellyfish and tentacles have in this boss fight. When you manage to kill the jellyfish before they explode, and if you kill the tentacles at any point, both of these enemies will release a ton of bubbles upon their deaths. These bubbles float in the air and then directly heat seek the Elden Baby, dealing a small amount of free damage. This was my ticket to defeating this boss. Me as the Revenant spawning 3 different summons to go kill the jellyfish and go kill the tentacles for me, so that the jellyfish and the tentacles explode with bubbles, so that these bubbles will then heat seek and deal damage to kill the Elden Baby for me as well. This felt like that one scene in Star Wars where Count Dooku tried to kill Padme, so he sent a bounty hunter to kill her for him, but then he sent someone else to kill her for him, and then she sent a robot to kill her for him, and then that robot sent a bug. Because man, this fight wasn't hard, but it was extremely long and was a true test of my patience, as you can see by my timer. But this is where tragedy struck the run. Eventually, during the Elden Baby's second phase, he flies down to the ground level and emits a mass of AoE sleep that seemingly covers the entire arena. I tried everything to run from it, stagger it, and attack him out of it with my summons, but nothing seemed to work. There seemed to be no way to avoid this attack using summons only. And it was extremely detrimental to the run, because when you get put to sleep, your HP rapidly drains and your mana rapidly drains as well. The Elden Baby can also do this attack several times in a fight. It's not a one-time thing. So this fight became a true test of endurance and a battle of attrition. I would need to not only avoid as much damage as possible from the fight itself, but also sustain myself via Starlight Shards, healing spells, and my red pots to actually survive the sleep attack, since there was seemingly no way for me to avoid it. I didn't have any sleep boluses either, since they're kind of RNG to find. I tried really hard and got really crafty with my approach to his sleep attack. I thought of the idea to spawn Sebastian right before I was put to sleep, since he tends to roar, dealing AoE damage as soon as you summon him. This affects everything around him and can be used to revive teammates, but I plan to use his roar to try and wake me up inside after being put to sleep by the Elden Baby. Unfortunately, I couldn't really tell if my idea was working, because if it did work, the animation of me being put to sleep had a small window where I couldn't be woken up until I fully collapsed onto the floor, meaning that regardless of how well I timed Sebastian, I was going to lose a chunk of my HP and mana regardless. Again, the Elden Baby can do this guaranteed sleep attack that covers the entire arena multiple times in a single fight. So despite my first run going extremely well and trying my best to raw dog the sleep attack, I eventually ran out of pots and ran out of my blue Jolly Ranchers, ending my first attempt over an entire 1 hour and 20 minutes for a single run. Yeah, the worst part about these runs is how long they take. I averaged around an hour for each attempt that I failed. Well, the second run didn't go much better. I reset my timer on accident when I was trying to fix the overlay, but I had to remove all of my good relics that gave me damage boosts and HP, while allowing consumables and flasks to heal my summons and myself. The reason I had to change them was to stack sleep resistance, otherwise it felt like the augur fight would be completely impossible, since I would just end up losing the battle of attrition as the Elden Baby spams its unavoidable sleep attack that would end up killing me as it whittles down my HP and mana slowly. Despite how trash my relics were, my idea was to try and stack enough sleep resistance to the point where it would hopefully be impossible for the Elden Baby to put me asleep if I stacked enough resistance. I didn't have any good relics with sleep resistance on them, and the Revenant has a base sleep resistance of 69. Nice. So each sleep resistance relic was an additional 75, which in total would now be around 219 total sleep resistance for my Revenant, hopefully being enough sleep resistance to be pseudo-immune to the effects of the Elden Baby sleep attack. After the exact same routing of defeating small packs of enemies, I ran into the Smelter Demon, who gave me a bit of trouble, but not as much considering he's actually weakest to physical damage and more resistant to elemental damage. He's also slow as shit. The best part about this fight is that it makes kiting him and spacing him out from my summons a lot easier, allowing us to easily take him down and progress to day 2. Day 2 was miserable. More farming led me to the final boss of day 2, which was the full-grown Falling Star Beast. I fucking hate this boss. Not because he's difficult, but because he just spams that one attack where he charges at you 3 times in a row and has the hitbox of a semi-truck. This made it almost entirely impossible for my summons to even attack him, since he moves around way too much and also has a ton of AoE damage, which prevented any of my summons from coming near him and not allowing my summons to deal any actual damage to him either. After a grueling 44 minutes, I died to the Falling Star Beast and went back to the drawing board. The next few runs all pretty much happened the same. I was starting to feel the effects of how bad my relics were. The previous setup for relics that I was rocking made the fight so much easier, and without them, I was essentially stacking sleep resistance for the single and only enemy that could possibly put me to sleep, making it harder to actually even reach the final day without any of my good relics. The Tree Sentinel trio that I defeated so easily the first time must have heard that I was talking shit because they kicked my ass. The Gaping Dragon was honestly a pretty awkward fight in the next run. It was very easy since it was a lot slower even with its own charge attack, but the second phase, it starts puking out shit all over the arena, which would stun lock my summons, so I had to be careful and space out their attacks and secure the win carefully. But just my luck, I ran into the full-grown Falling Star Bastard once again, which brought the end to my run. The next run doesn't fucking matter because again, for the third time, I ran into the fucking Star Bastard like it was destined fate for us to meet. At this point, I told myself if I run into the Falling Star Beast again, I'm just gonna kill myself and start a new run, because even if this fight is possible, it would take nearly an hour itself and honestly would be more difficult than the final Elden Baby Night Lord. Then came the final run. Day 1, same shit. Got the Gaping Dragon, spaced it out, demonstrating my attack timer reset tech again, and easily finished the first day boss. I was on a roll and was feeling it. This is the run. The second day threw a curveball at me. It was none other than the classic Godskin duo. Honestly, I felt good about this fight, despite it being a challenging fight requiring me to split aggro between the two enemies and also space myself out to utilize my summons. It's not particularly difficult and much preferred over the Falling Star Beast again. Finally, after several attempts and hours on this challenge, I made it back to face off against the Elden Baby. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is going to be very boring. This is probably going to take me an hour. The hardest part is that when the Elden Beast goes to sleep, like it lands on the floor, you're supposed to stagger it in a normal boss fight. You're supposed to stagger it. I can't stagger it because I'm using just summons, okay? So because I'm using just summons, I'm not able to stagger the boss out of its sleep animation. So it's like, it's global. It's a global ultimate that puts everything to sleep, like all allies to sleep. Unless you have like anti-sleep balls or like any sleep resistance like I do, like I have 300 bonus sleep resist. There's no way it should be able to put me to sleep. I will be very shocked if it can put me to sleep. It shouldn't have enough buildup. So I should theoretically be immune to sleep from this boss. I don't think it can put out enough sleep to fill up my bar because I have like an extra 300. Fun fact about these little tentacles, they actually beat my summons in a 1v1. So it's damn near impossible to actually kill them. If my summons are like paying any attention like that. Like I have to like juggle the aggro so hard. Otherwise they just instantly get one shot. But those also, look, they give bubbles. You see? So they do give bubbles. Boom. 192 damage. Huge. Come on, Sebastian. Hit him. I'm gonna sacrifice Sebastian to get one of these noodles. Come on. Don't miss. Don't miss. There we go. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Huge good boy. Yeah, hit him. Hit him from the back. Hit him from the back. Hit him from the other side. Don't die, don't die. Yes. Okay, he got the bubbles at least. Look at the bubbles. Huge damage, 192. Frederick. Next time these jellies come out? Yeah, come on. All right, finish it, Helen. Get it. One more. Nice, and he got the jelly. Oh my God, Helen, you're the GOAT. Helen, one more jelly for us. One more jelly. Ah, come on. That's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Look, look. He shouldn't be able to put me to sleep. There's no way he should be able to put me to sleep right here. I should not be able to be put to sleep. I have so much sleep res. There's no way. There's no way he has enough sleep build up. Oh, dude, we did it. Holy shit. Yeah, we're never going to get put to sleep. That's the hardest part about this fight with summons is that you have no way to avoid the sleep if you don't have sleep res. I think I have way too much sleep res. I don't even need this much. Even if I didn't have this talisman, because I know some people are going to be like, you got lucky with the RNG. Like, bro, I will drop this talisman just to spite anyone that says that. I will not even wear that talisman. I have so much sleep res, I don't even need the talisman. Look, without the talisman, I shouldn't get put to sleep. There's no way. There's no way I get put to sleep here, even without the talisman. Even without the talisman. Look, watch me, chat. Watch me. No talisman? No problem. See, I already have enough for my stats. My base stats for my relics are more than enough. I don't even need the talisman. It's nice to have it though. But I knew that as soon as I swap my relics to this to give me sleep res, I knew that was enough. Because each is 75. So that's like 150, right? Oh shit. Oh please, please jellies, please give him one. 1, 2. No, 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 no. Get the jellies. Helen! Helen, you fucker. I don't think it matters how close you are to him either. Yeah, like it doesn't matter how close you are. And it doesn't matter how far you are. I know some people thought like all you had to do was just like be far enough away from him. Oh shit, ow. Ooh, spicy. That's the jellies. This should be the jellies right now. Yeah, okay. Come on. Big hit, big hit. Get a bunch of jellies. No, you missed. Frederick, you motherfucker. You are... He might be... It looks like he's building up more and more each time though. Is that just me, chat? It looks like he's like building up more and more sleep with each use of that ability. Like that was more than the last time. I'm getting a little concerned. Does he build up more and more like as like the game or as the fight progresses? Like each time he does it, is that like more than the last time? I'll be a little bit concerned if that's the case. Also, I should be going for the tentacles more, but I feel like the tentacles are a little bit risky. Come on, be ready for the jellies, buddy. You see them? You see them? They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Come on, get a bunch. Get a bunch here. They got one. You got one, Frederick. Come on, you got one, buddy. Nice. We got like 2. Got 2 that time. Oh, we got a bunch. Oh my god, we got so many. What? How did we get so many? I don't even know how we got that many. What? Did it stagger him? Wait, oh, does staggering him like kill all of the jellies immediately? Like all the tentacles? Oh, it does. Oh, it does. Wait, poise breaking him kills all of the tentacles around him. It kills everything. Oh, we gotta get the jellies here. We gotta get ready for the jellies, buddy. No, 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 Helen. No, no, no. This way, Helen. Oh, that's the nuke. Oh shit, that's the nuke. Holy shit, that's the fucking atom bomb. What? Frederick. Frederick, you are the worst. Frederick, you might be the worst ever. You might be the worst summon in the history of summons. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. That's a point blank dash. That's not really fair. Oh, hello. You too. I don't like being in this spot. I really don't like being in this area where there's like surrounded by tentacles. We're just going to reposition. Oh, nice. Please, please get these. Please get these. Get the jelly. No. Helen. Helen, you whore. Helen, how could you miss? Oh, you got one. Nice. Good, Helen. I always knew you had it. I always knew you had it. I always knew you had it, Helen. Yeah, I knew you always had it in you. It's always been deep inside you. Come on, Helen. Come on. Don't let me down. Come on, Helen. Helen, my goat. Helen, my goat. Helen, my goat. Please. Helen. Kill them. Oh, Helen. You tried your best. Why are there so many now? Get him, Helen. Helen, my goat. All right, Helen, I'm gonna need you to get like at least 3 of these. I need 3. Can you do 3? Can you promise me at least 3? Please. No, no, wrong target. No, you're missing them. No, you're like a fucking blindfolded piano. Oh my god. Helen, just 3. I'm begging you, just 3. Just 3. Just 3. Helen, just 3. Just 3 of them. That's 1. I need at least like 2 more, Helen. You gotta do me 2 more, man. Okay, we got 2. We got 2. You know what? I'll take 2. I'll take 2. I'll take 2. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. It's okay. Well, you know what? We'll compromise. We'll come to a compromise on 2. Okay, Helen? Thank you. Wait, he gets put to sleep? Wait, you can put my summons to sleep? What the fuck, you weirdo? I didn't even know you could put my summons to sleep. I thought they were status immune. All right, Helen, all you, buddy. All you, Helen. This is your time to shine. This is your moment. This is your moment. This is all you. All you. Pick one, just hit. Just swing! Swing your fucking sword! Oh my god, that was the worst thing I've seen so far. Like, she's just protesting now. She's just protesting. All right, this is it. This is the one we need. This is what we need. One more. Nice, nice, nice. All right, then the jellies. Now take care of the jellies. No, take care of the... Oh! Look at the big damage, the big damage, the big damage. Big damage, big damage, big damage. Look at the bubbles, look at the bubbles. When he gets up, it's gonna kill him. Oh my god, the damage! Oh, we got the stagger. Dude, getting the stagger is so good because it kills... It seems like the stagger kills all tentacles in the arena. Oh my god, Helen. He's so low. So low, chat. Come on, Sebastian. All you, Sebastian. Sebastian, come here. Get him, Sebastian. It's all you. It's all you, buddy. Roar at him. 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Insane DPS with 8 damage. Come on, Sebastian. Don't do the roar. Just smack him. Just smack him like once. Smack him. Slap him. You did 20 damage. Oh my god, he did 20 damage, bro. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way you just did 20 damage. You're not serious. You're not serious. We're not being serious right now. All right, we're good. We're good. We're not losing this. Ooh, please, Helen. Helen, it's your chance. It's your... No, not the noodle. Not the noodle. Not the noodle. Anywhere but the noodle. All right, we got one. We got one. One more, Helen. Is that enough? Is that enough? I don't know if that's enough. Helen, another one. One more. We did it! Let's go! Summons only. A true summons only run. Time. It took us almost 6 hours. We did it. No consumables, no damage over time like poison spells or anything. Nothing. Straight up summons only. And I'm pretty sure that was flawless. And with that, I had officially completed the first ever summons only challenge run in Elden Ring Nightreign. Despite driving me insane, this challenge was actually a lot of fun. The entire duration of this single final run was around an hour and 40 minutes long. It was so long that even the game gave me an error saying its log capacity had been exceeded, which I've never seen before. The final fight against the Elden Baby took 40 minutes by itself from start to finish. Overall, it was actually fun and very challenging. I hope to do more content like this in the future, so if you haven't already, leave a like for Sebastian being a useless piece of shit and share the video around, and hopefully I'll see you all live on Twitch. Peace.